Welcome back, everybody. My name is EonShiKeno, and this is game number 3 and a best of 3 on Battle.net between oGsEnsnare as our red Terran player and NEXGenius, our green Protoss player. So Ensnare already scouting up here. Whoa, not even scouting. He's playing a proxy barracks blind. So already quick in there. He's going for his 7 racks and then a refinery right afterwards. So right away we got a quick, looks like we're going to go for a probably a quick Reaper rush. Maybe we're going to go for a Marauder rush. I've seen that work quite a few times against Protoss players. And Genius, it looks like he's going to go for a regular 12 gateway, so he's going to be a little late on that gateway, unfortunately. So getting that refinery, that's definitely not going to be Marines. And we'll see if he goes for a second barracks after this. Sneaking in one SCV, and they're being built. So we'll see what type of units he gets here. So Ensnare finishing that barracks, he's going to get a tech lab more than likely. Yes, there's a tech lab. And he's going to scout over here to the right, as this is the position he wants it to be at. He wants the base to be here because that is the closest position to this barracks. It's not too far away from this top position, but it gives him a pretty good shot at getting at least 50% right. Because if he put it in the opposite position down here, he's already in one of the positions, so he's only got, you know, a 1 out of 3 chance that he's correct. Whereas if he puts it up here, he's got a 2 out of 3 chance that he is right. So he's rallying up here to this top base, even though he hasn't scouted it, and he did not see the barracks with that Xel'Naga tower because it is barely out of range. So he's going to come up here to scout, and he's going to unfortunately have to go the long distance here. And sending another SCV over here to the left, he's probably going to build a bunker. He's going to bunker rush with the Reaper, so the Reaper's coming out. Second Reaper is supply blocked, unfortunately. He's late on this supply depot, so a little bit of a misplay there by Ensnare. So he's running up in here, and he's waiting for 100 to build that bunker. And there he gets it, and there goes that bunker. The bunker is going down, and a Zealot is being chrono boosted. He sees what is up, and Genius pulling so many units off gas and minerals there. And this Reaper just really abusing this cliff right now. And using that SCV to scout, trying to keep him away, but this bunker is going to finish, and he has a backup SCV there to repair or finish it. So there's one Zealot out, and a Stalker is being chrono boosted. He's going to try and get that Reaper into that bunker, but there's so many units around it, I don't even know if he's going to get it in there. This second Reaper is extremely delayed because he was supply blocked, and that definitely may cost him the game this early in the game so far. So he's microing around, killing that, but that Stalker comes out just in the nick of time, picks off that Reaper. So we have a Reaper coming out, the second Reaper's coming out, and it looks like we have a tech switch into Marauders with the concussive shell upgrade. So those SCVs did die, and he does sneak a Reaper in there, but it doesn't matter. That bunker is going to die very quickly to that Stalker and that Zealot. So selling that bunker, and he's actually going to get his 100 back for it, and sneaks that Reaper out, but he's going to try and get away here, but that Stalker will be able to pick him off right there. So let's check the economy, see how much damage it did. And actually not too much. Genius is still ahead in the workers. And he has Stalkers out. While Ensnare is only with 10 workers. He's getting his orbital command though. So we had this tech switch into Marauders. We'll see how effective that is. We'll see if he can be able to macro up enough units here to go in for another push. Looks like he may go for 3 Marauder push here. He is aware of that there were two Stalkers and a Zealot. So Genius probably going to keep massing Stalkers now. It wouldn't surprise me if he got 1 sentry just to force field the ramp, because, you know, after someone goes Reapers, it'd be safe to assume that they would go Marauders. But Genius getting here in a little bit of aggressive position up here on the front, getting himself some good vision, looking around, doesn't see much. And not choosing to chrono boost that warp gate. That's something I've seen, of course, Genius do every single game so far. He doesn't really feel like chrono boosting that warp gate ever. He just uses it to increase his economy and keep that economic advantage over the Terran player. Now we have a factory going down for Ensnare, so we may see some Banshees coming up right after this. So that one probe coming up here is going to run straight into that Marauder. He's going to see it. Oh, and you saw this really quick move right there. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but Ensnare actually only needed 1 Marauder to kill that probe, so he pulled these 2 Marauders away around the corner to try to hide the fact he had 3 Marauders, but it doesn't really matter because this Zealot is going to see those Marauders. Oh, barely moving out of vision there, staying right above the line of sight for that Zealot. These Marauders are going to run up this ramp here and try and pick off a Stalker or 2, but there are 4 Stalkers and 1 Zealot, and that's way too many to deal with these Marauders. Too late to run now. He's going to try and do as much damage as he can, but that 1 Zealot is going to be able to be tanking too much, and he's actually only going to kill 1 Stalker, lose 3 Marauders. So that play did not work out very good for EonSnare at all. So EonSnare is building. He built that factory, and now he's building a bunker. He is definitely in trouble right now. If Genius decides to put the pressure on getting a second gateway up and a robotics facility, we may see some. Either he has a rally down here to the bottom right, so more than likely that is going to be for an observer, and we may see him get an immortal out. But definitely an observer first, so that one bunker being placed. He's definitely in trouble if the Protoss player decides to attack, but Genius looks like he's going to play it safe, play it defensive, using this factory to scout. So there's that observer popping out, and he's going to just use these stalkers to come up here and focus fire and do some damage to the factory. We have STEM being researched, one Marauder being trained and has it rallied back here to his base. He's still on one barracks, and he's probably going to make a tech lab right there with that starport. We'll see if he does make a tech lab. And nothing yet. He's kind of just waiting around. So there's that observer. It is in his base, so Genius is aware of what's going on. And we have the factory being placed up here above the expo. Warp gate is finished, so with all those chrono beasts, he should have a very large lead. Yes, he's up by 8 harvesters right now, 28 to 20. And then expansion going down for Genius. So Genius, even with the huge advantage he has, is not deciding to counterattack. He's just going to go for a safe expansion and just try and maybe go for a good timing attack later on after he gets his expansion up and built. So EonSnare definitely is behind at this point, making a medevac and a barracks in base. So he has quite a few sentries right now. Most likely he's just going to use those for defensive purposes. Another gateway coming down and building some immortals. He does have an observer right here over this starport, so he knows there's no banshees coming. So he really doesn't have to worry about making a ton of stalkers. He's making these immortals to deal with the marauders. You can see some marauders, and he does see this drop. I think he did see that medevac. So we'll see if he moves these units into position to deal with this medevac here. And EonSnare just kind of going all over the place. He's not quite sure where he wants to go. He's changing his mind, so he's pushing up here with this SCV. Maybe he's going to take this Xel'Naga tower. He finally does locate that one proxy barracks that did cause him all those problems in the beginning. So taking vision of the Xel'Naga tower first with that SCV before pushing out this medevac, very critical. He made sure there were no units in the area that would be able to see this medevac coming in. So he's probably going to drop up here on this ramp, or up here on this high ground next to this expansion, and just cause some trouble for this expansion. And he's actually going to drop in the low ground here and try and pick off some workers. But these zealots these sentries are extremely fast. Going to pick up here. He does have an observer up here on the high ground, so he does have vision of this. He's going to get very nice micro by EonSnare. He picked up those marauders before they got force fielded off there, and he's going to have to do some healing up before those marauders can do any damage. With this observer up there, he's not going to be able to pick off any units, unfortunately. So an expo is built and is flying over here for EonSnare. So EonSnare is pretty saturated right here at his main. Probably use one or two more. So Marauder's pushing up. Oh, looks like he got force fielded off right there. He needs to pick him up with that medevac. So that medevac is in range. He's getting attacked. So this little harass here isn't really doing too much effectiveness damage, but it is kind of keeping NEXGenius in its base. But at this point, it'd be safe to assume that NEXGenius wasn't really planning on attacking anyway. So a Colossus is just now coming out. It does not have that range upgrade, but it will be able to walk up that high ground and attack those marauders. So we'll see probably push up here and just cause those marauders to run away. And that medevac is slowly running out of energy. So this observer is flying all over EonSnare's base. He does see that tech lab there, but he hasn't made a Raven yet. At least I don't think he has. All I see is a Viking coming out of there. So we now have a reactor laying down on that barracks. Probably make some Marines out of there, but Colossus are in play, and he's going to be making more Colossus, so he's going to have a lot of Vikings to deal with this. But he might switch, or we may see him as soon as he finishes this. No, he's going to actually make some Marines. I was thinking he might switch a starport out with this reactor to get double the Vikings. Actually, that's exactly what he's doing. He's switching those out right now. So this starport will be able to make 2 Vikings at once. He is aware of that Colossus, and you definitely need to have a starport with a reactor, or at least 2 starports, to be able to make a bunch of Vikings.